You're saying that Michael Oliver was wrong to officiate that moment in the way that he did, and that Martinelli, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Keown, Martinelli should have stayed in the pitch.
Of course, I believe he should, and I think he was unlucky.
You think? And Michael Oliver was aggressive in his style of refereeing?
I think he could have stepped back. He could have taken 10 seconds to think about it.
Yeah.
And then maybe the player should have stayed on the pitch. I don't think there were any winners from that last night, apart from the fact that Arsenal, it unified the team, and they used that, what they felt was an injustice, to go on and get 3 points.
You think, I mean, Simon, are you with me? I think, go by the rule book. I'm afraid. I mean, many are saying
you're
no.
Being
Martin's
mischievous,
right,
Jim. You're being mischievous.
I'm not being mischievous.
Don't you want
all.
justice for players? Would you, if you were a player,
justice
and that happened,
for Martinelli?
if that happened
Martin,
to you,
please.
put yourself in that position, Jim. If that
Justice
happened to
for
you,
players now, placards down the road. Justice for players.
Come on, we want to stay on the pitch, no?
Don't put yourself in a way of situations where you can't.
Exactly. Here's Chris, who's a big Wolves fan. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, gents. How you doing? All right?
Good, thank you so much. Martin Keown, and of course you're speaking to him from distance. Is he right or wrong?
He's completely off his head, to be quite frank with you. I mean, I watched the game last night.
Chris, what team do you
on TV.
support? Chris,
He's a
before you
Wolves fan.
start.
I'm a Wolves fan.
Well, there you go. So you're in one camp
come
and I'm
on,
in
Martin,
another.
let him speak. Go on, Chris.
Well, take your rose-tinted Arsenal glasses off. He stops a throw-in, and then he brought a player down that was clearly running towards the goal, which are 2 yellow card offences. 2 yellows equals a red. It's as simple as that.
End of.
No.
So where's the aggressive
So
refereeing
if that
in
happened
that?
if that happened to a Wolves player last night, would you have been happy with that? Just to turn it to you now, Chris.
No,
Just answer the question. If that happens to Semedo last night, are you happy?
I'd be disappointed with the player. He's let himself and the team down. Yes,
yeah.
I would be disappointed.
And you'd had no animosity towards the referee.
No, it happened to Raul Jimenez a few weeks ago. He was an idiot and he stopped the ball.
I remember that. I remember that. Chris has just hit a tunnel at that stage.
I think you're cherry picking, Chris. I want to see players, as a former player, stay on the pitch. Nobody has been more scathing than Xhaka when he's been sent off in recent weeks because he's been stupid. For me last night, I didn't think Martinelli, he's wrong in what he did, but it wasn't a lot wrong. I think it was more the officials that overreacted to that situation.
So the officials were at fault and Martinelli wasn't, according to Arsenal invincible Martin Keown. Dave's a big Manchester United fan. Good morning, Dave.
Hiya, fellas. Right. Like you just said, firstly, I'm a Man United fan.
Yeah.
Secondly,
Proud of it as well, fella. You're proud of it.
Yes. I play football to a very high standard. And thirdly, I also referee games. So I'm going to tell you where I come from on this. I would have kept the player on the field.
Ooh.
I would have booked it. I'd have took him to one side and said, listen, you're on a very, very thin line. I want to keep all the players on the field. One more indiscretion and you walk. End of. I do it with games that I referee now. If I give a foul or even a penalty, the player gets booked. If he then mouths off, I then tell him, you've got one chance now, and then that's you gone. You have got to try and keep the players on the field. That's what you're there for.
David, I think that's strong refereeing, and I agree with your approach. And that's a working relationship you're growing with the players.
Fair enough, Dave. So you don't really strictly abide by the rule book?
You do abide by the rule, but you've got to show common sense. Even every walk of life you're in, Jim, you have to use a level of common sense. You don't abide by the rules and the law by every letter of it. You have to show common sense.
Has Dave got a point there, Simon?
Yeah, of course he has. The problem is if you want to make things subjective, then you're going to have individual referees make different decisions based upon their view of what common sense looks like. In part, I understand the observation that it's a referee's job to keep players on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's a player's job to keep himself on the pitch. If he doesn't put himself in the way of circumstances that involve referees, like taking his shirt off when you score a goal or blocking a throw-in, then you don't put a referee to a decision, because the more people will put decisions at times, the more mistakes you're going to get. You put players to decisions.
But that's a very good call, though, isn't it? Because
it suits your argument. Yeah.
No, because he plays the game, so he sees it both ways, and he referees, and he knows he wants to work in relationship. He's been on the end of referees.
And if he went against you, you'd say he was an amateur referee.
No, but I'm just saying, it's basically he's got a foot in both camps. So maybe if you've played the game of football, I mean, it's a shame we don't see, time doesn't allow to be a player and then be a referee. And then you're not really impartial, are you? Because everyone would have seen the club you play for.
Mark, let's hear from one of your own. Here's Gav, an Arsenal fan. Gav, good morning. So presumably, are you looking at it from an Arsenal viewpoint? How do you view it, Gav?
Well, I look at it from a referee's point of view, if I'm honest. And I'm an Arsenal fan. I just think that if that was Xhaka who did that, the energy would be different. Arsenal fans, we all love Martinelli. We all want to keep him on the pitch. We all want to have the number 14 shirt next season. I mean, I look at what Oliver did, and for me, that was probably the best refereeing decision I've ever seen, ever. And the only thing that he probably could have done differently is if we weren't doing so much time wasting and things like that beforehand, then he probably would have stopped the game, given a yellow card for the push, because he pushed the right, I can't remember who was playing right back at the time for Wolves. He pushed him, and then they allowed play to continue from that moment on. So
Gav, you're not winding us up. You think it was the right decision? You totally back it.
No, I'm being deadly serious.
Okay.
On my Twitter and everything, I've been saying it all. I've been saying it all night. I've been in arguments about it the whole time.
Fair enough.
I'm happy Arsenal won the game, and I'm just annoyed that he's going to be out for the Brentford game. I'm glad that he's back for Wolves.
There you go, Martin. And that's from one of your own. Gav's a big Arsenal fan.
But Gav is saying there that if it was Xhaka, we'd all have a different energy. I'm saying I don't care which player. Even if it was Xhaka last night, I'd have been saying he's unlucky. Because I'm looking at it, I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to put myself in the position of the player and say, well, look, did he get a lot wrong there? Yes, of course he made mistakes. Yeah. But I do feel in the same phase of play there, I think you've got to stop the game, Jim. You've got to let someone know that they're guilty. He lets the play carry on. And restarts always have to be correct, whether it be a corner, goal kick, whatever. And that's where Michael Oliver's, he has made the wrong call in the first place.
There's so many calls in this. I tell you what, we'll touch on it at the other side of the upcoming bulletin, but there's a message with no name on it. Jim, I'm worried about Martin. He's delusional. This is getting worse. Yellow equals red. Please tell him it's plain and simple. Keep an eye on him for me this morning.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.